been to say Vartan Jumba. And there was a good reason why I wasn't able to come for the last number of years, because I was really sick and I wouldn't have done so well in this environment. But anyway, so by the grace of God, here I am this year, and I was really excited to try to sign up for a couple of days. And actually, even having said that, I got cut short by a day because I have to attend to a pastoral matter back home in Rhode Island tomorrow morning. In any case, you were all attentively listening as you were commanded by our deaconess here, who said, pay attention. And our reader, Gary, read to you from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. Romans is my favorite book of the Bible, by the way, because when I read it, I feel both condemned and redeemed at the same time. Because I read the things that St. Paul says that we really ought not to do, and I go, ooh, I'm guilty, I sin. And then I read about redemption and how Christ loves us, that he gives his life, and he's willing to forgive us when we turn to him and we say, Lord, sorry, have mercy on me. And that's the good news. The good news is that God loves us and he has mercy on us. Well, every one of us in our lives, especially as you get older and you have many experiences in your life, you have a lot of opportunities to turn to Jesus. And this happens at a young age, and then as you mature in different ways, sometimes in ways that you don't want to have confronted in your life. Well, that happened to me in a very profound way about 2 years ago when I ended up in the hospital. And I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't imagine that it would be so horrific as it turned out to be. And I ended up being in the hospital for, well, in one solid block for over 6 months. And, you know, and I'm a very impatient person. I'm like a kind of a person who's always in action. I don't like to sit around. And so it was really kind of hard for me personally, naturally, to, you know, be confined to a hospital bed for so long. So I'm going to share with you this, how this message that you heard today from Paul in Romans is personally felt in my own flesh, like it's incarnate. You know what the word incarnate means? That something becomes flesh, it becomes tangible. In fact, God became flesh, right? And that's why we say Jesus is incarnate, born from the Virgin Mary. So when St. Paul says at the conclusion in, I think, verse 39 of that chapter, nothing can separate us from the love of God, neither life nor death, nor powers, nor principalities, nor anything can separate us from the love of God. Well, I was in the real depth of my illness, and something happened. Well, it was interesting that, you know, fast forward a couple of months,